Alright guys, in today's video I'm going to be going over all of the reasons why I think CS2's movement is actually dying and what it means for the game. The past 3 months of movement updates have been absolutely insane, and even me who plays every single day has had a hard time keeping track. So in this video I'm going to be going over absolutely everything, and I mean everything that could be contributing to this feeling. But this video is sponsored by Case Planet, one of the best places to case your planet, and open Counter-Strike skins. This casey has been giving me absolutely nice stats today. Opening cases alone is boring? Well, make a battle with fake internet people you don't know for your real money. And win even bigger, because whoever wins gets the entire prize pool. Case Planet is definitely one of the gambling sites of all time. With so many ways to play for free, you just need to use my code TRIP to try it out. That's right, there's so many ways to get free money that you just have to use code TRIP on Case Planet. That's code TRIP on Case Planet. Thanks guys. Now with that out of the way, let me explain the current state of CS2's movement. CS2 movement has been in a ton of different phases throughout CS2's lifespan. Basically, movement changes more than any other part of this game. For better or for worse, it is something that Valve definitely sees as a huge glaring issue with Counter-Strike 2. So they have tried numerous times to actually fix CS2's movement, and it's not exactly gone to plan. For example, in December of 2023, Valve noticed that people were getting stuck on the ramps when they were playing Surf in CS2. And the fix that they ended up implementing made it so that you could actually surf on flat walls, not just slanted ones, effectively re-adding one of the game's most iconic exploits back into the game, pixel surfs. So yeah, even back in 2023, you can already see the cracks in the foundation, and Counter-Strike ended up becoming one of those games where whenever there was an update, you didn't actually care about what they added, but you cared more about what they messed up. So yeah, when I talk about CS2's movement updates, I'm talking about a game where basically the devs push updates that they're not testing, and then wait for whatever feedback they're going to be getting from that. Which is not exactly the structure I would suggest, but that is exactly what we have in our esports-ready Counter-Strike 2. And this is not the only example of this where they are obviously rolling out updates without testing them. They literally add the ability to float in the air when they tried to fix crouching. Okay, so it's not a question about them even testing it. We know they're not testing it. So that gets us into explaining the current state of CS2's movement. And it's probably one of the worst states CS2's movement has ever been in since the game's release. Now, historically, Valve has taken a pretty neutral stance on us using stuff like desubtick to basically make it so that their game works normally. But since they basically made it so that when you use desubtick, you hit every single B-hop, they had to make it so that you can't desubtick anymore. And that's exactly what they tried to do, but in reality, all that they did is they made it so that desubtick is much more gatekept than before. I can't just share with you guys a config that gives you guys desubtick binds. It doesn't work like that anymore. And when it comes to accessibility, to make a basic feature, like jumping, work as intended, I think that accessibility should be as accessible as it can possibly be. Valve really doesn't want us using desubtick, so much so that they made it impossible to do with the configs, basically rendering it only possible for people who are using cheats. And it's not just Valve tackling desubtick. There are a lot of other things that are playing into the current feel of CS2's movement right now. But this is definitely one of the bigger changes, is that Valve is basically making it so that legitimate players cannot use desubtick anymore. That basically makes it so that the game is going to feel worse for most people who were using these configs. Another thing is that most movement exploits like jump bugging, b-hopping, and, basically everything to do with movement is much more frame rate dependent now. If you have a high, consistent frame rate, you're going to be doing much better than someone who has frames jumping all over the place. Now, that was true before, but it is especially true now. You literally can't hit b-hops if your frames are fluctuating. So aside from Valve actually trying to tackle desubtick and making a ton of things frame rate dependent, what's actually wrong with CS2's movement? Well, that brings us on to the next thing, which is a little bit unorthodox. But this one could show you exactly why this update of CS2 feels so weird in so many different ways. So basically, CS2 is a recreation of this game called CSGO. And in CSGO, there was this movement exploit called the jump bug. I have a whole 8-minute video explaining exactly what a jump bug is on my channel, but basically what a jump bug is it is this stamina exploit that makes it so that when you hit the ground, you jump and you uncrouch, and it basically makes it so that you go flying up into the air, take no fall damage, and it doesn't make any sound. And when they ported CSGO over to CS2, one thing that didn't come with it was the jump bugs. That was until Valve eventually ported the CSGO jump bugs into CS2. And because CS2 has subtick, you could jump bug basically any height, which was previously impossible. But if you went ahead and used our desubtick binds, the jump bugs functioned very similar to how they did on CSGO, where you would have specific heights that work for specific jump bugs and multi-combo jump bugs that would work in a specific order. Now, over time, Valve has changed this feature glitch thing that they're adding into their game into something else that they don't fully understand themselves, I'm pretty sure. So, I think the first time that they changed it was entirely an accident. It was in November of 2024. This update came out, and it basically changed the normal jump height, the height that you get when you jump normally. And that made it so that all of the heights that we had found that work for jump bugs were changed. They were all different heights, so we had to relearn new heights. It was basically a jump bug height rotation. And because Valve is, doing Valve things and carelessly changing things and not looking at what it's actually doing, we get to now, where jump bugs basically don't work how they should. They're only working in this new way where they've only worked this way in this particular update of this game, which is probably not what they wanted when they re-implemented a bug glitch feature. Which brings me to going for jump bugs in the newest update of CS2. So in this update of CS2, you can basically jump bug any height, and it's semi-consistent, but it's never fully consistent. And there's a ton of weird quirks and caveats to that. So in this update, for some bizarre, unexplainable reason, when you walk off of something, you have much higher odds of actually being able to jump bug. What do I mean by that? So if you just take this height right here, if you walk off of this blue box and you try to jump bug the flat ground beneath it, it is substantially easier than if you just tried to normally jump and then jump bug on the flat ground. Walking off of things that are close to the ground and then jump bugging off of the ground is substantially easier than any other jump bug that I've seen in this update, which is extremely bizarre. Obviously, this makes it so that a lot of the movement tricks that people are using in Counter-Strike 2 don't work as they're exactly intended. With Valve micro-adjusting movement settings, something was bound to get messed up at some point, and now things are sort of just falling apart. There's literally binds that you can put in the console that increases your gain per strafe so you can long jump absurd distances very easily with the worst strafes I've ever seen. And if I continue to explain to you the small, microscopic jump bug changes, you are going to think I'm schizophrenic if you don't already think so. So we're done with that, okay? We're done with that. And that is the three reasons, okay? That is the three key reasons. I do believe that they have changed something with how the stamina works, or something with how stamina exploits work. Because this is never how it's worked. It's never worked like this in the history of ever, okay? So basically, Valve makes it impossible for us to desubtick without using cheats. Then they make a ton of things frame rate dependent, okay? And then they change our stamina exploits to make them not work consistently, but make them work more in different ways. Yeah, that is the state of CS2 movement. And I don't know if it's going to get better. I've been hoping it's going to get better for a long time, okay? But I don't know if it's going to get better. But you know why I play? You know why I still play, okay? People ask me why I still play. The reason why I still play Counter-Strike 2 is because I wake up waiting for the day that they make it so that when you jump off of silo on nuke and you jump bug, you go all the way back up to the height. They're going to fuck some shit up like that, bro. We're going to have trampolines all over the ground soon. Trust me. Dude, they are going to fuck something up so bad, and we are going to... Dude, we're going to be flying again. I'm just saying it. I'm just saying it. Because it needs to be said. They are going to fuck something up so bad. Okay, bye.
Nice in the room. Hope I make it out of here. She saw my eyes, she know I'm gone. I see some things that you might fear.